Hello. Welcome to another edition of the Diamond Cooper Show, coming to you live over the airways of YouTube from my hometown in Washington, D.C. Hope everybody doing well. I'm doing all right. Just got over a little congestion, but I'm better. We're going to get into the first segment of the show. But before I do that, I want to express my gratitude to those who have hit that like and hit that subscribe button. If you're new to the show, be sure to hit the like, hit the subscribe, and support your brother. And I'll keep this content coming. And y'all know what the first segment is. But before I jump into the first segment, I got to give you the jewel early tonight because the game starts within the next half an hour. And I don't know if you got the online, FanDuel, DraftKings, Caesars, BetMGM, whatever you on. Take the Michigan Wolverines to win the national championship. Don't worry about the points, but if the points scare you, take a money line. You'll still be going to the window. Now for the first segment, for real, I don't understand why Shannon Sharpe getting so much hate, man. It's kind of getting a little bit ridiculous, man. You know, it seems like every time a brother is successful at something or changes careers after he was successful in one and transitions to the next and evolves, just get a bunch of hate, man. Man come from the rural parts of the South, had some good people around him, talks about his grandparents all the time being there, had a big brother. That was a good example. They both grew up working hard. They had good structure. His big brother went to the league. In case y'all don't know, Sterling Sharpe, standout wide receiver for the Green Bay Packers back in the day when they had Brett Favre. He wore number 84. And if it wasn't for injuries, his stats would look good enough that he would be talked about amongst the greats as well because Sterling Sharpe was a bad boy, and that was his big brother. Shannon Sharpe does his thing, goes to the league, was the best tight end in the league for a while, transitions, go to CBS 4 minute doing TV, go to FS1 for a minute with Skip Bayless. Now he was Stephen A. And he got the nightcap with Ocho. And then he also added Gilbert Arenas to the nightcap to talk basketball. And he getting all this hate and stuff because of the Cat Williams interview. But when we got these platforms, just like when I get over 50 subscribers, so make sure you hit that subscribe button, tell your people hit that subscribe button. I'll be able to have guests as well. But when you have a platform and you invite a guest onto your platform, you're not in their brain. You don't know what they're going to say. They're going to utilize the platform to get their messages out because you're putting your platform there for them to do that. And Cat Williams expressed what he expressed, but 27 million views the other day when I checked. Last I checked, I should say, because it was yesterday, I believe. Yeah, last I checked. When Steve Harvey was on there, when Sid was on there, when Ricky Smiley was on there, there was no backlash about what they had to say about situations. But when Cat come and speak his truth, now Cat's a villain, and now everybody want to vindicate, castigate Shannon Sharpe for having an interview. Like the man, when he started, Cat Williams went on for like 30 minutes before he could even ask a question. He was going in, putting all type of information out there. That's why I was getting so many views, because some people watching and know what he's talking about and they try and hear exactly how much he's putting out there. But that's a story for another day. But this, just like I would like people to support me with this platform that I'm developing here. We're supposed to be supportive of each other. Like, where did that go? Where did the support for each other go? Like, seeing somebody reach a certain level and taking it as if, you know what, if they did it, I can do the same thing. What about aspiring to do great things by seeing somebody else come from nothing to something, come from a farm or come from poverty? Most of the time when we children, we don't even know that we poor, depending on our reality. And then when we get a certain age, then it hits you. You recognize, because you begin to see like other kids, and other families having things you don't have, cars and certain shoes and etc. But this man came from nothing to something, built himself up, built an audience, and everybody wants to castigate the man for it. Man, look, I'm here to tell you, man, the criticism is unfair. The hatred that y'all spewing at this man is unfair because he does a good job. And just like Charles Barkley, another brother that came from the South, Charles Barkley was somebody that he looked at and was like, okay, somebody from the South, they got the country slang and we might slur over our words sometime and things like that. Man, we could get on TV too. So you never know where you can find inspiration. So look for inspiration from these brothers that's doing big things instead of trying to find a way to bring them down just because you might not agree with one of their takes. We all different people. We all got our own worldview. We're not going to agree on everything. We can agree on a particular thing, but in that moment, I can guarantee you, your perspective and your delivery and your explanation will be different than the person that says it. You would just be able to relate because y'all aligned at the conclusion. Moving right along, today is what they call Black Monday. Now, I'm explaining what it means before I say what I was about to say. Black Monday is the Monday after the season ends, the regular season of the NFL, and then coaches get fired. Couldn't it be called something else, though? Why got to be Black Monday? You know, they associate the word black with our people, and I'll dive into that a little later based on Cameron's comments. But why couldn't it be Red Monday, Blue Monday? You know, something green Monday, something else. Why it had to be Black Monday? Why the sale that you can get everything damn near half off got to be called Black Friday? You know what I'm saying? But that, again, is a subject for another day. But it's 5 coach openings now after Arthur Smith from the Atlanta Falcons was fired and Ron Rivera from the Washington Commanders. So now there's 5 spots open. And speaking of Arthur Smith, in that game with Atlanta and New Orleans, you know, New Orleans beat the snot out them people, 48-17, but it was only 41-17. New Orleans was on the 1. The backup quarterback, Jameis Winston, was in the game. And Dennis Allen in the offense called the kneel, the victory formation. So they lined up in the victory formation. So the defense basically conceding because they know you're taking the knee. And then Jameis Winston took it upon himself. He said him and his teammates. He went publicly and said, I apologize to DA Dennis Allen. That's the head coach of the New Orleans Saints. He sent them victory. But, we decided to try to get Jamal Williams a touchdown because he didn't get a touchdown this year, even though he led the league in touchdowns last year. And we wanted to do that for him. And Atlanta's coach, Arthur Smith, before he got fired, he got fired right after this. But when they was walking to, they walked to the middle of the field after the game, shake hands. Wasn't no shaking hands. It was like, man, what the fuck was that? Man, why'd you do that BS? Man, come on, man, that's fucking Bush League, man. Going on him. And then you wind up hearing Dennis Allen say, I understand, because he knew that he told them to take a knee. I don't know, Jameis. Famous Jameis. You had your chance in Tampa. Now Baker Mayfield got them in the playoffs, clinched the division. They done went and had put Taysom Hill in front of you when Drew Brees left. They went and got Derek Carter put in front of you. And then now you basically went to the media and let them know that y'all don't have no respect for your coach. He sent a play in and you just do what you want to do. And you know that you already blowing these people out. So that's basically like rubbing it in. No sportsmanship at all. Man, you're going to be lucky, man, you have a job next year, brother. Because that right there, now if you did it and kept it in-house, it's different. Because you're not setting yourself up to be criticized publicly for just, undermining your coach. And it makes it look bad for the coach. And like I said, it's 5 openings. Dennis Allen could be next because no real owner wants a head coach that the players feel like they can just do what they want to do after you call in the play. You let them know like this was going on. It's not like it's an order, but it kind of is though, because if I'm calling the play, you're supposed to run the play. Now, if I send in a package of plays, 2 or 3 plays, that you can make an adjustment with determined by the defensive alignment, that's something different. But you got victory formation. You up 41-17. The game is over with. Go ahead and take the knee, man. And then y'all be wondering why y'all wind up getting slid out the league. Nobody hears from you again. You wonder why those opportunities don't keep coming. Because of the way y'all allowing this social media to get y'all to cut up. And now y'all just feel like y'all can just come out and just disrespect the coach. Yeah, we disrespected the coach. You know, it was all good. We told him, man, it's on us, man. We just decided to do this for him, man. You know, we know what he wanted us to do. You know, so we apologize. I apologize to him for us doing it, but you know, in the moment, like we just did what we wanted to do. This America, Jack, that shit don't fly. So some of the participants in that who was involved in that, when y'all start seeing certain players from New Orleans been waived, released, cut, traded, if they're on offense, they probably was out there on the field when that shit happened. Ooh. Now we clinched the number 2 seed. You know, I didn't expect the Commanders to really put up a heck of a fight. You know, we know that. But it was a good ass whooping, 38-10. And I say a good ass whooping because it always feels good to whoop the Washington franchise's behinds. Like, good. Like you got the big wooden flat paddle. You just blah, blah. Just beating them till they quit. Like, I like to see that. Especially going into the playoffs, because last year going into the playoffs, Sam Howell's first start for the Washington Commanders, they beat us by a dub going into the playoffs. And then y'all know what happened when we got to the playoffs. That 31-36, 279 yards, if I'm mistaken, 4 Bajas, that's touchdowns for those who don't know, and an interception off a tip pass. Defensive lineman make a good play, tip the joint up. They picked it. So that's not necessarily on him. And CD Lamb, 13 catches, 98 yards, 2 Bajas. Dak, top 2, 3, every top passing category. CD Lamb lead the league in catches, 50 yards behind Tyreek Hill for the most yards, 1 touchdown behind Tyreek Hill and Mike Evans. They got 13. He has 12. And he lead the league, in yards after catch. CD Lamb, Dak Prescott, turning into a hell of a connection, man. That new 88 starting to remind me of some of that grit that old 88 had when I was growing up in the 90s. A part of that 3-headed monster, that trifecta. We got Green Bay coming to town. Green Bay coming off of 17-9 win over the Chicago Bears to clinch their playoff spot. They the number 7 seed. They coming to Texas this week. Jordan Love been playing good and everything. They've been running a little bit more with Aaron Jones. A.J. Dillon a little banged up. Don't know if he's going to play this week. That game is actually Sunday at 4:30. We supposed to beat them. We're supposed to. But that's going to depend on if they kind of go run heavy or not to try to get us to focus on that and get the play action game going, because the play action game is where Jordan Love, even though he's young, he's excelled at the play action game and getting the ball down the field, making chunk plays, and that's something we can't afford to be giving up. So stopping the run on first down is going to be key, but I really don't think that their defense can stop us at all. So I would give them, I think they'll score a couple times. Maybe once. Then we get a lead and they score again late. But as long as we take care of the ball, we should get them out the way. And this right here is what I always tell people. I'm a football fan first. I'm a Dallas Cowboy fan second. So I'm not going to get excited or none of that until we at least sniff the bowl. Like get right there to knock. At least you can knock on the door. Then I can be like, okay. But from what I'm seeing now, we are a different team. San Francisco is basically the class right now, and that's what we got to get through. But if we win both home games is what we will have to do to go to San Francisco unless they get knocked off and then, somebody else will wind up coming to Texas. But we can't depend on nobody else. We have to do what we have to do and take care of this business. And we giving Green Bay 7.5. So keep that in mind too. What the bookmakers think we probably gonna do to these people. On the AFC side, congratulations to the Houston Texans clinching the playoff berth for the first time since 2019. They the number 4 seed. They won the AFC South, beating the Indianapolis Colts 23-19. Oh, but did y'all see the drop though? Indianapolis had the ball. They was driving, and they had Jonathan Taylor ran for 188 yards on 30 carries and had a 49-yard touchdown. They down in the red zone, 4th down. They take him out. They put in the other running back, Goodson. I guess they feeling that the defense haven't seen him, so they know it's not going to him or what have you. And boom, he slides on the backfield. The throw is a little behind him. The throw is a little bit off, but it hit his hands, man. You got to catch that. And Houston prevailed because of it. So congratulations to them. C.J. Stroud, man, this young rookie, 264 yards, 2 touchdowns. He got 4,108 yards this year. That's the 3rd most by a rookie all time. Got to give him props, man. C.J. Stroud, he ain't playing like no rookie. Shorty playing like a 7-8 year vet. For real. If y'all haven't watched Houston, make sure you tune in Saturday when they play the Cleveland Browns. And they got Joe Flacco and them coming to Texas. Joe Flacco and Myles Garrett and company coming to Texas. Amari Cooper. Playoff picture is set, baby. It's time to go. Nico Collins also, the wide receiver for Houston. Oh, my God. 9 for 195 in the box. He caught the bomb on the first play, 75 yards. Killing them out there. Came out of nowhere. Nobody saw this coming. People didn't even draft them on fantasy till like week 3, week 4 when they started to see him do his thing. Nico Collins is a beast, man. Much props to the Houston Texans, man. Pittsburgh, they got in again. All this talk about Mike Tomlin's job, man. 16 years, no losing seasons. And now he got this Pittsburgh team. Have y'all watched Pittsburgh play this season? I have. Have you seen a quarterback play for the Pittsburgh? Well, before Mason Rudolph came in a couple of weeks ago. Did you see it? They're in the playoffs. Now, if that's not a hell of a coaching job, I don't know what is. And now, after getting 2 sacks and lead the league in sacks again with 19, TJ Watt got hurt. Got a grade 2 MCL sprain. So he's not even going to be able to play, which is crazy because they made the playoffs. And they're not going to have the best defensive player in the NFL. That's going to take some luster out of that game. But, of course, I'm still going to tune in. I got to tune in because Pittsburgh is going to Buffalo. Also, another thing in the Pittsburgh-Baltimore game, Najee Harris had 112 yards. He the first running back to have his over 1,000 his first 3 years since Alfred Morris did it with the Washington Commanders. They wasn't called that when he came in. Remember, he came in when RG3 was doing the read option, number 46. He was running that jump. Then he wound up coming to the Cowboys for a quick stint as well. And Jadeveon Clowney for Baltimore, he got a sack in that game, and that kicked in the $750,000 bonus. My man, get that bag, baby. I love it to see them dudes get their incentives because the contracts in the NFL are not guaranteed. So it's incentive-based mainly, So after your guarantees, you got incentives. Once the guaranteed money run out based on a prorated contract, you back to square one. That's why it's so easy for them to cut players and easier than like the NFL, the NBA, Major League Baseball, etc. New England went down in the snow to the Jets 17-3. Might be Bill Belichick last ride. I'm not sure, but y'all, it got to be something amicable between the two. But with anything, man, been going on, relationship 24 years, it's going to be some bumps. But in this case, it's a business relationship. So if they go on part ways, he definitely going to be the first coach to come off the board somewhere else. One of those 5 jobs, maybe 6 coming up that's open right now. But 6 rings, and that's just as a coach in New England. He got rings as defensive coordinator with the Giants. back in the day with Lawrence Taylor. It's tough, man, because it's like the Patriots for so long, since I was a teenager going into adulthood, going into my 20s, Bill Belichick was their coach. I remember that he had actually became the coach of the Jets, and then 24 hours later, quit that and then went to New England. Y'all remember that? Yeah, see. That's going to be different, man. Tennessee knocked off Jacksonville. That's why Houston clinched the division. If Jacksonville would have won, Houston would have been a wild card, and Pittsburgh would have been out because Buffalo beat Miami. Oh man, Jacksonville, they was 8-3. They was actually number 2 seed at one time, and then they just nosedived. Pew! Just like the Eagles, 10-1, lost 5 out of 6. Pew! Giants beat the snot. They was down 24-0 off the rip. It was 27-10 final, but it wasn't even that close, to be honest. I believe that the Jaguars going to have to, his shoulder was a little banged up, though. He did have a shoulder injury that they reported, and some of those throws, especially the deep ball to Calvin Ridley, that would have gave them a touchdown, and they would have needed a 2 to tie, and that was on first down. So, the pass that he missed on fourth down, that was way out, way wide, too, nowhere near the receiver. That might have had something to do with it. But he a good quarterback, man. In Jacksonville, they're going to be there. But it's just like it's something missing. I'm not sure. Doug Peterson, great coach, took the Eagles to the Super Bowl, all that. He know how to work with quarterbacks and develop them. I think they're going to get it together. Detroit plays the Rams. Matthew Stafford. After the Rams beat San Francisco, because Green Bay won. If the Rams would have lost, then Green Bay would be going to Green Bay will be going to Detroit, and the Rams will be coming to Dallas. What should I say? Arlington, AT&T Stadium, Jerry's World. They got a 3-point line. Detroit favored by 3 at home against the Rams. And y'all know what this matchup is. Matthew Stafford returning to Detroit, where it started after the swap for him and Jared Goff. Jared Goff took the Rams to the Super Bowl. They lost 13-3 to New England. Tom Brady, Bill Belichick. Traded Watt, Matthew Stafford. They win a Super Bowl against Joe Burrow and the Cincinnati Bengals after they upset Patrick Mahomes at Arrowhead. Now he gets to go back to Detroit, and Jared Goff gets to see his old team. And that's what we're talking about. Now that got some spice to it. Going to be an interesting game. It's only a 3-point line, and they give you 3 points as a favorite just because you're at home. So being as though it's only 3, they believe that it's a pretty even matchup. What y'all think? I don't know yet. I'm going to give y'all those Jews later in the week. What's another one that I needed to get to? Tampa Bay clinched. So Tampa Bay has the home game against Philadelphia. Tampa Bay is a number 4 seed. Philadelphia is a number 5 seed. Philadelphia is actually a 2.5-point favorite on the road at Tampa. So they was in Philly, it probably would be touchdown. Baker Mayfield, the touchdown maker. Philly got some problems, man. Offensive line don't maul anybody anymore. The run game isn't there. Jalen Hurts, he's not running as much. So now teams are not expecting him to get out of there like he used to. Then when he does run, he doesn't have that same speed. So he clearly banged up. But I mean, a lot of players banged up right now. They all play through it by this time of year. You just got to fight through it and try to get that prize. I ain't sleeping on Philly, though, because they do know how to win games. They have been in close, tight games. Tampa Bay has. But I can tell you this off the break. I'm definitely going to take that game under. And even though I'm going to do a show Monday before the game, I can tell you now, I'm going to take that game under. It's not going to be a lot of points in that game. Right now, it starts at 44. It's at 44 right now. So you can definitely get into that. The Dolphins got to go to Kansas City on Saturday, 8 o'clock. Not sure if Mostert and Jalen Waddle are going to play. Tyreek Hill actually hurt himself. Oh, that's right. And Jalen Hurts dislocated his finger, too. That's another thing. Jalen Hurts dislocated his finger. A.J. Brown got banged up, and Devontae Smith. So we don't even know how healthy Philly is going to be. The Dolphins got to go to Kansas City. It's supposed to be like 2 degrees. Ooh. You're going from 75, 80 in Miami. Go to Arrowhead, 2 degrees. Now they went to Buffalo last year. It wasn't 2 degrees, but it was snowy and all that. And they hung in there with the backup, Skylar Thompson, and it was 34, 31. But you're going to Arrowhead Stadium, 2 degrees, and you haven't really done good against winning teams this year. They actually played earlier this year. I believe it was in Germany, overseas. If it wasn't Germany, I think it was Germany. And Kansas City was up 21-0, and Miami came back and only lost 21-14. So maybe they have some confidence with that. It's also Tyreek Hill going back to Kansas City in the playoffs. So I don't know how banged up he is because he limped off and kind of took himself out, and he wasn't on the field for that last drive. If he's not there, it's only a 3.5 point line right now. Kansas City favored by 3.5. So that's only really a half point more than what you normally get. So the odds makers believe that this is going to be a close one too. We got Cleveland at Houston. Flacco, Amari Cooper spoke on that. I think that Pittsburgh getting 9.5, because that's the line I didn't talk about. That's a lot of points, man. I know TJ Watt not there, but that's a lot of points, man. That's a lot of points to be given up. That's a questionable one. Buffalo, they at home. Pittsburgh used to the cold. That might be a good under game there too. Now let me ask you, out of the quarterbacks, now you got your teams. You got Cleveland at Houston, Miami at Kansas City, Pittsburgh at Buffalo in the AFC. You got Green Bay at Dallas, the Rams at Detroit, and Philly at Tampa Bay in the NFC. What quarterbacks on either side do you have the most faith in? In the AFC, which quarterback you trust the most? In the NFC, which quarterback you trust the most? If I had to say so, I trust Lamar Jackson. And this year, Dak Prescott earned my trust. So those are my two. You can hit it up in the comments and let me know what you think. Before I get up out of here, I just want to touch on one thing. Cameron said that he don't identify as African American. He identifies as Black, right? Black American. And then he cites the fact that, when going to Africa, I've never been, but when going to Africa, they don't even mess with us like that. And they call us Yankees. Now, I have grown up around African people. I have worked with African people, and been around them in different capacities. And some of them do have their nose in the air type stuff, that holier than thou, persona. And I feel what he's saying. He was like, they don't really mess with us. They call us Yankees. You know what I'm saying? So I feel what he's saying, but I personally don't identify with no name that my mother didn't give me, or like a nickname from a family member. I don't identify with none of that, because you can clearly look at my skin right here and look at my shirt. This shirt is black. My skin and this shirt is two different colors. And color is the appearance or semblance of something, meaning it's not real. And you can see that my hands, all this, like I'm a real thing. So I don't get caught up in the titles that's given to us. To each his own. Whatever you stand on, whatever you believe, that's you. Rock with that. But I can guarantee you, if you associate a name with you and you haven't researched anything about that name or don't know where it came from, you just took it on face value because somebody just delivered it to you, you're probably going to be misguided at some point, because it's important to really understand what these terms mean when we use them. Because when I'm around my family or my friends, we're not in the house calling each other, oh, shut up, African American. Get your African American ass out of here. Nah, that ain't how we talk. I'm a native of the land. That's as far as I go with it. But shout out to Cameron for that, man, because it creates a good conversation, because now you have to really research and make sure you know what you're talking about when you say it, because you're saying it online and people, everything is in the phone. Everything is right there in your hand, in your pocket, wherever you're going at. So you can look it up right then and there. and find out. So before I attach any titles or names to myself, I do research and make sure I don't walk around here expressing something that really isn't associated to me, because it's just common knowledge. Like, this shirt is black, this color isn't. So I would go elementary with that, just to give you a simplistic view. But from a macro perspective, it's way deeper, these terms. So I believe he has some awareness of that. And he, put a little filter on how he got his message out there. But I feel the message, though, because just because somebody calls you something or says you and your people are something doesn't mean that's what you are. You define yourself. Don't let nobody give you no name, no title, none of that shit. What you believe you are is what you are. Plain and simple. And don't let nobody change that. Thanks again for joining me on the Diamond Cooper Show. Please hit that like, hit that subscribe button. Make sure y'all go check out that Michigan game. It's about to kick off. Peace and love.